we're going to talk about screw gauges, which is when you have a bolt or a machine screw of sorts that's smaller, or a wood screw, even deck screw, that is smaller than 1/4 of an inch. We quit using fractional measurement and we use this number system here. Number 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And there are intermittent sizes in between, but these are the most common ones. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just reminding you of the fact of what a 64th of an inch is, because these sizes get so small that I'm going to highlight them all in 64ths of an inch. So think of cutting a pizza into 64 slices. Out of 1 inch, you cut 1 inch into 64 slices. Okay, number 4 would be 7/64ths of an inch diameter. All right, now these are kind of relative. This isn't absolute truth here, depending on if you're working with a machine screw or a wood screw or whatever. So I'm using unsimplified fractions here just to help with that visual of 7/64ths, 9/64ths, 10/64ths. Here are a few reminders of what a 64th of an inch looks like. This is just looking at 64ths. You can see the whole number 1 there. And it's broken up into 64 very small parts. In the next clip here, you'll see a tool that's called a caliper. And if you look at the gap in between those 2 metal wings there, that gap is a 64th of an inch. And here's a micrometer showing the same thing at that gap. So what I'm doing here is I'm laying out the different types of hardware we have and examples of the different gauges we have of these types of hardware. So starting right off the bat, number 4 is the smallest gauge hardware we have in our shop at the time of this recording. And we've got the sheet metal screw and the wood screw, and it would do good benefit to pay attention to the differences. And then we've got a machine screw. Also good benefit to pay attention to the differences. Notice how our machine screw does not have a point there. And moving along the line here, you can see how the diameter of the hardware gets thicker. I kind of joke that the number of the hardware has to do with its pant size, how fat it is. And I put IDK in all those number 9 screws because, believe it or not, I've never seen a number 9 any of those other things. But for some reason, whenever I go to buy deck screws, they're always a number 9. It's just kind of one of those things, kind of interesting to me. So moving along the line, we're not looking at length, we're looking at thickness and how fat these things are. Oh, the camera fell. You guys got flipped upside down. Oh, here, let's get you all situated here. All right, and we're back. Okay, so moving along, you can see how it gets bigger as we go. And I'll add some nuts and washers actually down here as well, because we have those in stock, and you can see the diameter grow across there and how small these things are. I mean, look at that pencil thickness compared to the actual hardware. So we'll walk over to our screw thread checker here, and you can see that the diameters of the gauges going up. You can use that to test and identify any missing screw you find. You can walk over there, plug it into any one of those holes, and if it kind of freely moves in and out but tight, then you know you got the right size, the right gauge there. It's also important to remember not to mix up metric versus the number gauge system that exists in standard. And you can usually do that just by noticing whether there's the hashtag symbol or an M. That brings us to the end. See you guys later.